Reports claim political tensions in Hong Kong could make it harder for China to reach a trade agreement with the U.S. One America's Kristian Rouz explains.
Well, that was 1 million people. That was as big a demonstration as I've ever seen. So I hope it all works out for China and for Hong Kong.
The autonomous city of Hong Kong is threatening to become a new bargaining chip in the ongoing trade dispute between China and the US. After several days of millions-strong protests, the Hong Kong legislature decided to put the controversial extradition bill on hold. But the conflict is far from being over. The bill would require the city-state to unconditionally extradite fugitives to mainland China.
We could see that would definitely not only fuel the tension but also add to the worry of Hong Kong people, thinking that the many freedoms, and for example freedom of expression and freedom of assembly, are definitely being curbed.
Back in the late 90s, the US agreed to treat Hong Kong differently than China on trade and investment. This is because Beijing agreed to preserve a wide autonomy of Hong Kong for at least 50 years, since the British withdrawal from the city in 1997. But now that mainland China is trying to impose new restrictions on Hong Kong's self-rule, the city might get caught in the crosshairs of the China-American economic standoff.
The concern that we have, and we're in a very unique position, we write highly critical research of Chinese companies, is that we'd be accused of, let's say, releasing state secrets by revealing what we think is really happening, being extradited from Hong Kong and then tried in China, and we wouldn't, of course, get a fair trial.
However, President Trump could choose a different approach to the Hong Kong crisis going forward. Over the past few days, the governments of Taiwan, Britain and several other countries expressed their support for the Hong Kong protesters, saying they're fighting for democracy in their city.
But it is vital that those extradition arrangements in Hong Kong are in line with the rights and freedoms that were set down in the Sino-British Joint Declaration.
President Trump has taken a wait-and-see approach so far, but should the protests reignite, the US is likely to react more decisively. In this light, Beijing finds itself under an even greater pressure to improve US ties and agree to President Trump's conditions on trade.
China wishes they had that deal to do over again, because what they did was wrong. You can't renegotiate a deal. We had a deal that was done, and they wanted to renegotiate. You can't do that.
Hong Kong officials say a postponed second review of the extradition law will eventually take place. If the bill gets a go-ahead, Hong Kong's financial sector could be decimated by expectations of a US crackdown. Meanwhile, Hong Kong citizens say they will take to the streets again to defend the self-rule and economic prosperity and keep their city open to the world. Kristian, Rouz, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.